Hello, my name's Tanya, and the program that I chose for assignment 3 is the Read Naturally strategy. So in 1989, Candace Einott was a teacher, a graduate student, a wife, and a mother of 4 children, ranging in age from 6 to 18 years old. That year, as part of her master's program in special education, Candace developed the strategy to help struggling readers achieve fluency. She combined 3 research-proven methods into a simple set of steps that eventually became known as the Read Naturally strategy. This strategy would help millions of struggling students read more fluently. Along with her husband Tom, a high school economics teacher and basketball coach, Candace founded Read Naturally, Inc. in 1991. Candace and her husband first started out running the business from their kitchen table. Candace developed curriculum materials and trained teachers around the country to implement the strategy. Tom handled the business side of Read Naturally, servicing customers, shipping orders, and keeping the books. The Read Naturally founders believed that curricula should be interesting and appropriate for each student, and that materials should be flexible and adaptable for many situations and environments. The Read Naturally strategy combines the 3 powerful research-proven strategies of teacher modeling, repeated reading, and progress monitoring to create an effective tool that individualizes instruction and improves reading proficiency. Using audio support and tracking their progress, students work with the high-interest material at their skill level to improve fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. So teacher modeling in the Read Naturally strategy programs, the student reads along while listening to a carefully paced recording of a fluent reader. So this strategy is just having the teacher model. It helps the student learn new words and master others, as well as learn proper pronunciation, expression, and phrasing. Repeated reading is when a student reads the story multiple times. This helps a student master difficult words, increase accuracy, and improve expression to become a fluent reading. In the Read Naturally strategy programs, the student reads a high-interest nonfiction story until they're able to read it accurately and with expression at a goal rate. And progress monitoring is when the student uses graphs to track his or her performance. It involves the student in the learning process and motivates them to improve and increase reading achievement. In the Read Naturally strategy programs, the student monitors their reading progress through graphs, and that shows the student's fluency and comprehension performance on each story. I have this little overview video that is from the Read Naturally website, and it kind of just goes over the program.
Around us, they fill books and newspapers, of course, but they're also on signs, in directions for tests and games, and in countless other places. For struggling readers, this fact makes many activities frustrating and stressful. Yet reading is an essential skill for success in school and in life. That's why the Read Naturally strategy uses the power of teacher modeling, repeated reading, and progress monitoring to transform struggling readers into confident, fluent readers. First, the student selects an appropriate passage and reads for a specified time, noting how far he read. Next, the student reads the passage along with the support of a recording. Then, the student reads it alone again until he reads it well. When he reads the passage a final time, he notes his progress since the first cold reading. Put together, these components of teacher modeling, repeated reading, and progress monitoring form the research-based Read Naturally strategy, a powerful approach to reading instruction that allows each student to progress more quickly and more willingly than with reading practice alone. It is also the foundation of many Read Naturally curriculum programs. The addition of short, high-interest, non-fiction passages and activities designed to develop comprehension and vocabulary has made these programs effective tools for motivating students, accelerating their progress, and encouraging their enjoyment of reading since 1991. To learn more about the quality curriculum programs that use the Read Naturally strategy, call us at 800-788-4085.
Okay. So, as that video just told us, there are some different versions of the Read Naturally strategy programs. And all the programs differ. Basically, the differences are dependent on grade level, platform, intervention focus, instruction type, and curriculum. But the most popular program used is Read Naturally Live. Read Naturally Live accelerates reading achievement by combining the research-proven strategies discussed earlier. The student works at his or her own pace and an appropriate level of material. Text and audio are used to guide the student through the steps, and the student masters a story by reading along with audio and then practicing the story until he or she can read it fluently and with comprehension. The program automatically tracks student progress. So Read Naturally Live does provide an interactive reading intervention, which is actually often used for RTI implementation. It also gives options to easily differentiate the program to meet individual needs, and extensive computer-generated reports on student progress are provided. And going back to the steps that were mentioned a little more in depth, in the first step, the student clicks on the story he or she wants to read. Choosing the story is said to deepen the student's investment in the material. And in step 2, the student reads the keywords and their definitions while listening to an audio recording. Step 3 requires the student to use the title, picture, and keywords to write a prediction of whether he or she thinks the story is about, and this prepares the student's mind for reading the story. In step 4, the teacher may time the student, usually for 1 minute, as he or she reads the story, or the student may complete the step independently. The student clicks on unknown words while reading and clicks the last word read during the timing. And then Read Naturally Live subtracts the unknown words from the total number of words attempted to obtain a cold reading score and displays it on a graph. This step establishes a baseline for progress monitoring, the component of the Read Naturally strategy that motivates the student to improve. Next, the student reads along quietly with the recording of the story. They typically read 3 times. This step is the teacher modeling component of the strategy. And in step 6, the student practices reading the story without audio support 3 to 10 times until able to read it accurately with expression and at the goal rate. This is the repeated reading component of the Read Naturally strategy. Step 7 requires the student to answer questions about the story. Responding to the text holds the student accountable for meeting and develops the ability to answer many types of questions. It also provides teachers with information about how well the student comprehends the story. Next, in step 8, the student retells or summarizes the story to improve comprehension. And in step 9, the student reads the story for the teacher to show that he or she can read it at the goal rate with appropriate expression and with 3 or fewer errors. The teacher corrects or reviews the comprehension questions with the student in the retelling of the story. Read Naturally includes 3 research-based methods and a set of simple steps to improve reading fluency. So teacher modeling improves reading fluency. Teacher modeling consists of a proficient reader modeling correct pronunciation, rate, expression, and phrasing while reading with a less able reader. Paired or partner reading and chorale reading are 2 examples of this strategy. Teacher modeling helps students learn unknown words and practice difficult words. Repeated reading also improves fluency. Reading a short story or passage many times until a student is able to read it fluently helps the student learn to recognize some words, master others, and increase fluency. The student will be able to transfer knowledge of the words learned and mastered to subsequent text. And daily monitoring of student progress improves student achievement. Monitoring increases student involvement in the learning process and promotes teacher awareness of each student's progress. Overall, I think the Reading Naturally strategy is an intervention that can be trusted in schools. It allows students to see modeling of fluent reading, then to practice through repeating reading, and finally to track and view their progress. It has many options for different scenarios, meaning it can differentiate instruction depending on the learner. And as an educator, I feel there are countless benefits to using this strategy. All 3 of the research-based methods together is a strong way of teaching reading fluency and comprehension.